not me adding this in after the fact, if you guys watched my smile video, because I don't think I've posted anything about like scary movies very much on my channel, but if you did watch my smile video, I put the text on screen and I want to say it here in this video for future scary movies. I will never put scary images on screen. So I do record these episodes. They're meant to be listened to, but I do add pictures and stuff for YouTube on Spotify as well. So if you are looking at the screen, if you are watching the video of the episode, just know I will never put like creepy, disturbing like stuff, because like I'm not trying to scare myself. I'm definitely not trying to scare you guys. So with that out of the way, let's get into today's episode. Hi friends, welcome to another episode of I Watched It So You Don't Have To. Just kidding, we're not doing that anymore. Welcome to another movie review brought to you by your girl who is finally rebranding. Okay, it's a soft rebrand, but it totally counts, especially after that long mental health break. Look, I don't want to drag the mood down by getting too into it, so let's move along. I'm still taking series title suggestions. I'm still thinking of what to call these movie reviews because some people weren't a fan of the title I Watched It So You Don't Have To. I thought it made sense, and maybe you do too, but some people don't, and I hear y'all. I really don't mind taking another look at the title. I got some suggestions, and I like the title I Watched It, Should You? And was it worth the watch? Let me know your thoughts on these options, or let me know if you have an idea for something different. I'm here as a friend to give you my thoughts on the latest movie that I've watched either in theaters or maybe something I've watched while cozied up at home. If you're looking for my thoughts on a specific movie, let me know in the comments below, DM me on Instagram, or let me know on Spotify. Tune in for new episodes every Friday. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, all the things so you don't miss what I'm watching and what we're going to be talking about. Now, let's get into it. Welcome, my friends, to another movie review. This time, we're talking about the movie that I'd been looking forward to seeing since I watched the first trailer months ago. A movie that I saw getting hyped all over TikTok closer and closer to the release date. A movie that I honestly have mixed feelings about. Let's talk about Talk to Me. A group of friends discover that they can conjure spirits using an embalmed hand and quickly become hooked on the new thrill. It's all fun and games until one of them unleashes terrifying forces. This movie did a lot that I really liked, and as usual, we're going to talk about that first. The single take shot in the opening of the movie is fantastic. I really love how the technique is used here. It's really immersive and puts you right into the scene. Not only is the opening shot remarkable, but it's shocking and sets the tone for the rest of the film. I will say that it doesn't prepare you for what you've sat down for, but it definitely will make you brace yourself for the rest of the film. Touching back on the single take, touching back on that camera work, there are plenty of scenes where the camera work is eye-catching and different. We saw a little bit of that in the trailer, and it's really cool in the movie. Moving on to the story, I like the story, and separating the story from some really stupid character decisions, the story is solid. I like the originality of it, and Mia, her story and motivation, it's so good and incredibly sad, so seeing it all come together is very commanding of your attention. Again, I have to remind you of stupid character decisions. It's a frustrating movie to watch, and of course, a character has to do the thing to move the story along, but it was very annoying. Also, the story is intentionally vague throughout, so it really thrives when you don't ask too many questions. Before we get into the acting, we've got to talk about the impressive and disturbing practical effects. You guys, amazing, shocking, the kind of practical effects that had me saying, oh shit, out loud in the theater. The look of these effects and the effort to really create these looks is stunning, and honestly, it elevates the film. It makes it more horrifying and boosts the impact of the reveal of these characters and what happened to them. Speaking of these characters, let's get into the acting, and I really just want to talk about who we previously mentioned, Sophie Wilde as Mia, because honestly, it was all her. I say that, But let's be real, the entire cast, like everyone showed up and delivered, but we really stuck with Mia through her grief-fueled descent, and Sophie Wilde does an amazing job. I really love the moments this character has with her friend Jade, played by Alexandra Jensen, and her younger brother Riley, played by Joe Bird. Their connection is believable, and Riley and Jade's mother Sue, played by Miranda Otto, really helped to sell this dynamic. I got a little sidetracked, but Sophie Wilde really brought that grief to the forefront in a way that you understand that it doesn't ever go away. She did a fantastic job of showing the lack of balance Mia really had with her grief and her hope. When I said sad and horrifying, I meant it. All right, you guys, was the movie worth the watch? If anything, stream it. I'm not mad that I paid to see it in theaters, but I do have to agree when my mom said that she could have waited for it to stream. But if you want to catch a horror movie, if you want to see a movie that has fantastic acting all around throughout the entire movie, if you want to see a horror flick with stellar practical effects, if you like a solid movie featuring possession, or if you want to see a movie directed by Raka. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know who they are, but they're YouTubers, and it's really cool to see them go from YouTube videos to a feature film on the big screen. If all that applies, then this one's for you. If you're expecting this to be the scariest A24 movie, to that point, if you don't like scary movies, and I mean very unsettling atmosphere and jump scares, not a lot of jump scares, but they're definitely there. If you're expecting everything to be explained in the movie, if you don't like graphic violence, touching back on the practical effects, the violence and the spirits are very, very graphic, then I would look for something else to watch. All right, movie fans, that brings us to the end of the episode. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you very much. Check out the description below for a link to the podcast. If you're watching here on YouTube, leave the video a thumbs up if you like the video so I know you like the video. Let me know while you're down there, have you seen Talk to Me yet? The movie has been out for a while, so if you've seen the movie, what did you think about it? I have to say, this movie excels in vibes, you guys. It's chilling, it's eerie, it's a creepy movie, and it's uncomfortable to watch. If you've seen the movie, yes, I do mean that scene, but I will talk about that later. But what I mean is, like, one example again is that grief-fueled descent. You know where it's gonna go, it's predictable, and you don't want to watch it happen, but you have to. Another example is what I mentioned in the movie summary, that the characters quickly become hooked on a new thrill. It's exactly what it sounds like, and it's that feeling where everyone on screen is having fun, they're having a good time, and you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I do want to say that this is a really good movie, but I think for me, it got overhyped on TikTok in the days leading up to its release. So my expectation got higher and the movie kind of missed the mark. I am looking forward to the sequel that they've announced and the prequel that one of the directors, Danny Philippou, said that they've already filmed. I think this could be a strong franchise, and with an already filmed prequel and a sequel in the making, I hope they're going to bring more to the story and lore. Again, there was a lot they didn't explain, and that definitely works for the movie, but I have a lot of questions, and I want to see where they take this story. As promised, that scene that I wasn't talking about, it's so bad. It's disgusting. I hated it. It's burned into my mind. Without going too much into it, and I'm not going to go into it, I'm kind of going to go into it. If you've been here for a minute, then you've heard me mention the website Does the Dog Die? And if you've never heard of it, bookmark it, save it, do what you got to do if you are ever worried about not just the dog, but any animal in a movie. So anyway, before I watched the movie, I checked the website and I can confirm the dog does not die, but a user did comment that there was, let's just call it mutual mouth licking between person and dog. You guys, it was so gross. If you've seen Cabin in the Woods, I was expecting something like that, something that's gross, but bearable, right? Wrong. It was too much and I hated it. If you want to know more, you can check the website. You might wonder what more you need to know. There's more. Between that person's comment, I also commented, there's more. I hated it. Also, look up the triggers for this movie. There is quite a few that I could point out, so just make sure you look that up before you watch the movie. On that note, thank you so much for hanging out with me and for catching today's episode. You can listen to new episodes every Friday. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify. all the things so you don't miss the next movie we're going to be talking about. Like I said at the top of the video, I've been taking a mental health break, and that's why I haven't posted for almost 2 months. In that time though, I was still going to the theater and I was still watching movies at home. I watched Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Barbie, Haunted Mansion, Meg 2, The Trench, Oppenheimer, which I did see in 70mm, and that was incredible, but the movie, I'll get into it when I get into it, if I get into it. I also watched The Last Voyage of the Demeter and Blue Beetle. For the movies I streamed, it was only a couple of movies, Bird Box Barcelona and Greenland. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to give you my thoughts on any of those movies. What I plan to do is kind of a rapid fire review episode and just talk about all of them in one video. But if you want me to dig into one movie in particular, just let me know in the comments below. Okay, you might be wondering why we're doing a whole episode on Talk to Me. Out of all the movies that I've watched, why this one? While I was on my mental health break, it comes and goes. I think one of the days that I was just in a good headspace, I just happened to see Talk to Me that weekend. I did watch Haunted Mansion and Talk to Me in the same day. I think the intention when I was in a good headspace was to write the script for Talk to Me and write the script for Haunted Mansion at the same time. That's not what happened. Obviously, I only did the script for Talk to Me. So let me know if you want me to talk about in more detail any of the movies that I've mentioned. I would love to hear from you guys. So please let me know your thoughts on today's episode or just your thoughts on the movie that we talked about today in the comment section on YouTube or on Spotify. I want to know what you think, so let me know wherever you're listening or on Instagram at A.Rocket.Review. But until the next episode, spread positivity, be safe, take care of yourself. Honestly, you guys, take better care of yourself than a group of kids playing with an embalmed hand like it's a party trick. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye.